My name is Lindsay, and I'm a dedicated teacher. I came from a long line of educators, and I believe that teaching is my calling. I love imparting my knowledge to students, and I love being their mentor. So, the moment that I graduated college, I immediately applied to different teaching positions, and luckily, I secured a permanent position at one of the country's top universities. My first few years have been a life changing experience. The overwhelming feeling of living my dream and doing my passion is gearing up my entire system. Every day, I am motivated to work because it feels so good and liberating to do what I love. I received several plaques of recognition and awards regarding my performance as an educator. On top of that, I received an immediate promotion due to my dedication and hard work. All my life, I was so focused on my career. Throughout my early 20s, I was so busy building an image and a reputation that would elevate my career. My coworker even admired my work ethic and the level of professionalism that I exert in my job. Aside from that, I do honor the nobility and value that comes with my profession. As a teacher, I highly recognize it by performing my job to the best of my ability, and I'm truly known for doing it. I don't get easily swayed by parents who offer money or any assistance just to improve their children's grades. I have received this kind of offer before, and it served as one of the turning points of my career. It was during my first year being promoted, and I now already have an advisory class. And as a class advisor, I want what's best for my students. I want all of them to have high grades and excel in every academic activity. However, there would always be an odd one out, and what's unlikely is that in my class it was a girl. She was lean, beautiful, had a good body, and was a troublemaker. She always ditched my classes and often threw bad attitudes around her classmates, even towards teachers. She has a piling list of bad records in the guidance office because of her bad moral behavior. She was caught smoking cigarettes inside the campus premise, seen walking into a club as a minor during a school night, and was also discovered in possession of drugs inside the classroom. She has such a rebellious spirit. I don't even know what she sounds like because she doesn't even enter my class, and whenever she's present, she would just sleeps the entire time. And with that, I failed her on my subject because there was nothing for me to grade. She did not pass any projects, assignments, quizzes, or activities that my subject required. It just felt like she just enrolled in my subject, breathed, and did nothing. So I was left with no choice and failed her instantly. And I was right, the student went hysterical after she knew that I failed her. I expected this reaction already, for it happened a lot to my coworkers. She went straight to my office by force. I could still remember how furious she was as she approached me. She shouted at me and even dropped insulting words at me. She banged her palms into my office table, and it shocked me to the bone. Does this girl even know how to respect?
How could you do this to me, Miss Lindsay? You failed me. You're just a terrible teacher.
I stayed calm and responded to her with ease. Nikki, please take a seat. Let's talk about this calmly. I could feel her fuming mad, and her aura is beyond repair. She is angry, and I refuse to believe that this girl even has good manners and right conduct.
No, I won't sit. This is unfair. You hate me, and you're just trying to ruin my life.
Nikki, that's not true. As your teacher, it's my responsibility to assess your performance based on your attendance and academic effort. Your grade reflects that. I rarely see you in my class, and whenever you're present, you'll just sleep throughout the entirety of the discussion. Aside from that, you don't even have the chance to pass any requirements of the subject, and that left me with nothing to do but to fail you abruptly. I can't just lie and put a grade that I seemed fit to you. You simply didn't perform. That's it. I answered her professionally, and I wanted her to understand it fully, but her anger truly outshined. She was so angry at me that I could feel her almost tearing me apart. She raised her voice once again and shouted at me with madness.
This is a load of crap. You're just out to get me. You probably have it out for all the students who don't worship the ground you walk on. You're unfair, you're stupid, you think you're just perfect. Just look at you, your life is boring.
I was taken aback by what she said. It pained me to the core, but I remained composed and dealt with her professionally. Nikki, I treat all my students fairly, but I can't give you a passing grade when you barely show up for class and neglect your assignments. She rolled her eyes.
Oh, look at Miss Lindsay, the perfect teacher who thinks she's better than everyone else. You think you're so high and mighty?
Nikki, I'm not perfect, but I take my role as a teacher seriously. I want to see all my students succeed, including you, but that requires effort and commitment from your side as well. She went raging in madness again.
Save your self-righteous speeches. You're just a pathetic, bitter woman who can't stand it when someone challenges you. A younger woman, perhaps, like me. Just admit that you are insecure because I'm young and beautiful, unlike you, an aging whore.
I wanted to slap her, but I controlled myself. I don't want to be the losing party here. I just took a deep breath and controlled myself again. Nikki, I understand that you're upset, but using hurtful words won't change your grade. I'm here to help you if you're willing to put in the effort.
Oh, like I need your help. I will make sure everyone knows what a terrible teacher you are. You won't last long here. Just wait and see.
I hope you'll consider your approach, Nikki. Spreading rumors and using harsh words won't solve anything. I want to see you succeed, but I can't do that for you. It's up to you to take control of your education. She stormed out of my office, leaving me shaken by her outburst. It was a painful encounter, but I refused to let her words define me. But that interaction was just the beginning. She pestered my life even more when she decided to drop out, and even before she left, she dropped a rumor that almost ruined my career. She spread false gossip that I was dating our school principal, and it is not even true. I was so focused on my career that I wasn't even entertaining any guys in my life. Many people believed it, and even most of my co-workers gossiped about me. I was so embarrassed and ashamed about it because my reputation was tainted, and the career that I so worked hard to establish almost crumbled. But good thing our school principal was rational. He announced to everyone that the information was a lie and it was just degrading gossip meant to ruin me. After that, I tried my best again to build my reputation and elevate my career until I met my husband, George. We dated for a year until we decided to join hands in marriage. Our life was perfect together. Never have I ever imagined that I would marry someone as loving as him. But my life was turned upside down when I discovered that my husband George was cheating on me. Our marriage had always seemed solid, but the signs were there: late night phone calls, secretive behavior, and a distance between us that grew by the day. My gut feeling told me something was amiss, and unfortunately, I was proven right. And imagine, we are just in our second year of marriage. He grew distant towards me, and he seemed cold when it comes to his treatments. And then some of his co-workers told me that he's seeing a young girl at the bar, and he would invite that girl to their parties and trips. I was so devastated because they even emphasized that the girl was only 18 years old. She was pretty and seductive. I wanted to confront my husband, but I needed more evidence so that I could freely throw my anger at him with no hesitation. But he did me a favor because one day George dared to bring home his mistress. My heart sank as I saw her, and I had to hold back tears of anger and hurt. But as I looked at her more closely, something clicked in my memory and my anger turned into disbelief. Nikki was none other than a student I had taught in high school, the same girl who almost destroyed my career and reputation. It was Nikki. My heart almost skipped a beat as I saw her clinging to my husband's arm. Years ago, she was just in my class. She rarely attended my lectures because, as you all know already, she had a reputation for being a troublemaker and spreading malicious rumors about teachers she didn't like, which happens to be me. And yes, that was one of the most unfortunate events of my career. I became one of her targets when she accused me of having an affair with the principal, which nearly led to me losing my job. But still, I managed to prove my innocence and bounce back even better. But the damage had been done, and it haunted me for a long time. Now, fate had brought Nikki back into my life, and I saw an opportunity for revenge. My husband wanted me out of his life because he doesn't like me anymore because I look like a scarred, wrecked, homeless woman. George, how could you do this to me? I never thought you would betray me like this.
I don't want to hear it, Lindsay. You're overreacting as usual.
Overreacting? George, you brought your mistress into our home. How can you expect me not to react?
It's not like we had a perfect marriage. You were always too busy with your teaching and never made time for us.
I felt a sudden sting in my heart. This pains me to the core. I loved my job, George, but I always made time for you and our family, and now you're blaming me for your affair?
It's not just about that, Lindsay. You're always so uptight and controlling. It's exhausting being around you, and look at you, you're ugly. Even comparing you to Nikki is an insult on her part. You're a mess.
I fought back my tears from falling. Is that why you cheated? To escape from me?
Maybe it was. Nikki makes me feel alive and free. Something you have never been able to do. And besides, she's sexy. Just look at her.
Just then, Nikki chimed in, adding fuel to the fire.
Oh, poor Lindsay, acting like she's some kind of saint. You're nothing special, you know. I missed you, by the way. Long time no see.
She chuckled with fakeness. Nikki, please just stay out of this.
Why? You can't handle the truth. George needed someone exciting, not a boring old teacher like you.
You have no idea what I am or what I have been through.
Please spare me the sob story. You're just a washed-up, pathetic woman who can't keep her husband satisfied.
I may have made mistakes, but I won't stoop to your level. You're just a young girl who got caught up in a situation she couldn't handle.
You think you're so superior, don't you? Well, let me tell you, you're nothing, a nobody, and George knows it now.
Maybe that's how you see me, Nikki, but I know my worth. I won't let your insults define me.
That's enough. Lindsay, just leave.
Fine. I won't stay where I'm not wanted. At that moment, I knew I had to stand up for myself and take control of my life. Leaving the house was painful, but it was the first step towards reclaiming my strength and dignity. Nikki's insults couldn't break me anymore. I knew my worth, and I was determined to build a new life free from the shadows of betrayal and humiliation. I knew I had to be patient and craft a plan that would humiliate her in the same way she had humiliated me. I pretended not to recognize her and acted like the betrayed wife, silently collecting evidence of George's affair. As days turned into weeks, I reached out to my past allies, former students, colleagues, and even the principal who had stood by me during my ordeal. Together, we formed a plan to expose Nikki's past wrongdoings and bring her to justice. One night, when George and Nikki were out, I set my plan into motion. I gathered all the evidence of Nikki's lies, rumors, and manipulations from the past. I made sure everything was well documented and backed by witnesses. With my allies by my side, we unleashed the truth on the internet. I posted a detailed account of Nikki's past actions, making sure to protect the identities of those who were also affected by her lies. The post quickly gained traction, and people were shocked to learn the real face of the seemingly innocent girl they had once known. As the internet erupted in anger, I watched with satisfaction as Nikki's social media accounts were flooded with comments and messages exposing her for who she truly was. The wrath of strangers poured down on her, and she found herself at the receiving end of the same humiliation she had once put me through. But I wasn't finished. I ensured that the evidence reached the right authorities, and soon Nikki was summoned to court for her past actions. The courtroom was filled with people who had been hurt by her lies, and she had to face them all. As the proceedings unfolded, Nikki's arrogance crumbled and she had reduced to tears, realizing the gravity of her past mistakes. Witnesses after witness testified against her, recounting the pain and suffering she had caused. She had no defense, and her attempts to justify her actions fell flat. In the end, the court ruled against her, and she faced several consequences for her lies and manipulations. Her reputation was shattered, and the world now knew the truth about her. As I watched Nikki leave the courtroom broken and humiliated, I couldn't help but feel a sense of justice served. I had turned the tables on her just as she had once done to me. The revenge I sought wasn't about destroying her, but about making her understand the pain she had caused me and others. From that moment on, I let go of the bitterness that had consumed me for so long. My husband's betrayal no longer defined me, and Nikki's presence in my life became nothing more than a distant memory. I had risen above it all, stronger and more resilient than ever before, and the sweet taste of revenge had given way to a sense of closure and peace. The aftermath of my revenge on Nikki had far-fetching consequences that extended beyond our personal lives. The public exposure of her past wrongdoings served as a cautionary tale for others, showing them that actions have consequences, and lies and manipulations can come back to haunt you. Nikki's downfall also sparked conversations about the importance of empathy and understanding in the age of social media. People began to realize the power and responsibility that comes with the ability to share information and opinions online. The incident became a case study for educators, parents, and teenagers alike, prompting discussions about the impact of cyberbullying and the importance of digital literacy. However, amidst the discussions and reflections, I remained focused on my healing and growth. I channeled my energy into my teaching, determined to make a positive impact on the lives of my students. I created a safe and nurturing environment in my classroom, fostering open communication and encouraging my students to be kind to one another. Over time, my reputation as a caring and dedicated teacher spread beyond the school. I was invited to speak at educational conferences where I shared my experiences and the lessons I had learned from the ordeal with Nikki. My story became an inspiration for others who had faced similar challenges and struggles. As for George, the consequences of his actions caught up with him as well. His infidelity led to the dissolution of our marriage and faced backlash from his peers and colleagues for his betrayal. The shame and guilt he carried served as a constant reminder of the pain he had caused, and he was forced to confront his demons. In contrast, my life took a positive trajectory. I found new love and support in unexpected places. A kind and understanding colleague became a pillar of strength for me, and our friendship blossomed into a deep and meaningful relationship. With him, I found love, trust, and the joy of a fresh start. My revenge had come full circle, transforming from a quest for humiliation to an opportunity for growth, redemption, and understanding. The experience taught me that revenge was a hollow victory, but seeking empathy, compassion, and personal growth brought about true healing. As I reflected on my journey, I realized that the true triumph of revenge was not in bringing someone else down, but in rising above the hurt and transforming it into positive change. I had shown Nikki the consequences of her actions, and in return, I had discovered my strength and resilience. Life continued to unfold with its ups and downs, but I faced enough challenge with newfound wisdom and grace. My story became an inspiration not just for my students and colleagues, but for anyone who had experienced betrayal, humiliation, or the desire for revenge. In the end, my revenge was not about seeking humiliation for the antagonist, but about finding the strength to rebuild my life and make a difference in the lives of others. And in that realization, I found a sense of peace and fulfillment that surpassed anything revenge could ever offer.